Hello everyone, I am Janela Maybugtong and I am going to talk about the neurofunctional theory of second language acquisition. So first, let us define what is neurofunctional theory. Neurofunctional theory of La Mandela 1979 states that the acquisition of second and foreign languages is mainly the product of neural or brain-based processes. It considers the involvement of the right and left hemisphere of the brain to be firmly related to comprehension and production of language. La Mandela 1979 defines a neurofunctional perspective on language that attempts to characterize the neurolinguistic information processing systems responsible for the development and use of language. Hack 1983 puts it, there is no black box for language in the brain. There are two areas of the brain, namely right hemisphere and left hemisphere. So let's first tackle the right hemisphere. Right hemisphere is associated with holistic processing. It is responsible for storing and processing formalic speech and its constituents, namely routines and patterns. Ellis 1985 states that the right hemisphere participation in second language acquisition will most likely occur in the early stages of acquisition, as this is the time of intensified use of formula speech. The second area of the brain is the left hemisphere. It is associated with creative language use. Left hemisphere is also defined as syntactic and semantic processing. The left hemisphere is in charge of analytic processing and creative language use with both semantic examining, characteristic of speaking and writing. So guys, take note. Left hemisphere is in charge of analytic processing which focus on analyzing things, and creative language use with both semantic, characteristic of speaking and writing. Language functioning is dependent on brain activity, particularly on the left hemisphere of the brain. The areas associated with language learning are identified as Broca and Wernicke's area. Broca's area is found in the forebrain division of the brain. In directional terms, Broca's area is located in the lower portion of the frontal lobe. My apology if I have no illustration to show. And proceed. Let's proceed. Broca's area is responsible for the precise control of the mouth and larynx muscles, and also responsible for the grammar comprehension and production. Broca's aphasia. I know you're quite familiar with this, guys, since it was already tackled by Miss Cecil Obores from the previous lessons, but let me introduce to you again this. Broca's aphasia is a condition which Broca's area of the brain is damaged. The symptoms of this language disorder is that if the person is unable to express by more than a single word at a time, which means he has the language disorder called Broca's aphasia. Let's proceed to the second area associated with learning language, the Wernicke's area, wherein it is the region of the brain that is important for language development. It is located in the temporal lobe on the left side of the brain and its home reasoning. And a condition which Wernicke's area of the brain is damaged is called the Wernicke's aphasia. Symptoms is if a person is being able to speak in phrases that sound fluent but lack in meaning and no informational value, this means he has a language disorder called Wernicke's aphasia. Let's proceed to the two systems for language functioning, the communicative hierarchy and the cognitive hierarchy. Communicative hierarchy is responsible for language and other types of international communication. It occurs in primary language acquisition of second language. From the term communicative, the function of the language is to communicate. The second system is the called cognitive hierarchy. Cognitive hierarchy regulates the array of cognitive information processing activities. It deals with logic as opposed to affective, which deals with emotions. And this hierarchy is present in foreign language acquisition. Speaking of foreign language acquisition, it is marked by the use of the input and also affects the operation of learner strategies. Input comprises the inherent properties of the target language system of the formally and internationally adjusted features found in the foreigner and teacher talk. So guys, there is a difference between second language and the the foreign language acquisition. Second language is an addition to the person's first language or to its mother tongue, while foreign language is not commonly spoken in the country of the speaker. Uh, Let me give you an example. Um, a German speaker living in the Philippines can say that Filipino is a foreign language to them. Please don't be confused. Proceeds to the practical applications of the neural functional theory. In general, schools tend to favor left brain modes of thinking while downplaying the right brain ones. Left brain scholastic subjects focus on logical thinking, analysis, and accuracy. Right brain subjects, on the other hand, focus on aesthetics, feeling, and creativity. That's it for my discussion, and thank you for listening.